Hey, what's up, everybody? Pete Stupiello here from Team Midwest. We are here with our second Meet the Vendor. Very excited about this segment. Before we start, please also, you can find us at Instagram at Team Midwest. Europa Midwest.
That's
Nope,
Europa
it's not.
Midwest.
It's Europa Midwest. Yeah.
Europa Midwest.
You can find us at Europa_Midwest on Instagram. Please like us and follow us. We are very excited for our guest today. We actually have Ryse Supplements in the house. This is a newer brand for Europa. They've been in the market for about 2-3 years now. Very, very excited, very strong online presence. I think it's going to be really good for bringing you guys on for our brick and mortar selection. We have Nick. Everybody knows the famous Ike. And we have, of course, our legend Graham Rhea as well.
And I will say one thing really quick is when Ike's been working really hard because he's not quite as tan and he's looking a little pale right now.
So. I won't take that to heart, but it is true. My tan game is a little bit weak right now, so I apologize, everybody.
Seriously,
yeah,
for real.
Got some work to do, but it's okay. Been back at it, and we're going to talk a little bit here, but got a lot of cool and exciting things to bring everybody. New game, new day. My new partner Nick over here, and look forward to sharing you some information.
So Nick, we do these segments here because we really want to learn more about who's behind the brand.
Sure.
Not so much protein, not so much pre-workout. Of course, we can definitely get into all that, and with all the videos you're going to share with us, so we can post it out for our customer base as well. But we really want to learn more about you as a person. So give us a little, quick little snapshot of your life from going through college. Are you married? You have kids? Kind of get us into more of that personal feel.
So married, have 2 kids, 6-year-old and boy, Hudson, 3-year-old girl, Bristol. Bristol was named after where I went to college. I went to King College in Bristol, Tennessee, and wrestled there. I was an NCAA wrestler, wrestled my whole life. That's what got me into sports nutrition and dietary supplements. And then I got my marketing major, digital media marketing major, where I went on to build websites for various companies, as well as starting my own company called FitLife, which I ended up selling about 2 years after starting it. And then I used those proceeds to go towards Ryse and kick that off.
Now, FitLife were those dumbbell bracelets and everything. I'm sure that you guys have probably been purchasing for the past few years as well.
And no, we are not accepting returns.
Yes, we kind of started that space. We were the first ones to do weight plate, dumbbell necklaces, and then we put on a bracelet. And at the time, those silicone bracelets were really big, and we made those overseas, and we also sold a couple $1 million worth of those too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you took the proceeds from that, and that's when we kind of adapted into more of the Ryse role, right?
Mainstream, bigger market. The jewelry was cool, but it was so niche. You had to find a certain buyer, so wanted to do something bigger and more mainstream.
That's awesome. So with all of the vendors in our industry, okay, with just so much compact, supplements, vendors, I understand that you wanted to really kind of have more of a community, more of a connection with the end with the end consumer. Is that correct?
Everybody's got a pre-workout. Everybody's got a protein. Everybody's got a fat burner. But how do you stand out from that, and how do you connect with your customer?
Right. So it is all community based. People buy with who's behind it, what they're like, if they relate to the person. So we have a community and we have an affiliate program. Which, let me talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, so we have an affiliate program where we have 40,000 affiliates, and they're out there knocking down doors and posting and sharing our vision, which they're really good at because we give them that information to know what to share to their, followers and friends and family. So it's almost like a referral system. Like, think about when you go buy a card. Usually you buy a card because you see someone driving it, or Nike's the perfect example with LeBron James or whoever's wearing it. They want to wear it because it's cool and who's behind it. So we're trying to instill that same passion behind our products.
And that's
That's-
not something that retailers should be afraid of either, because
No.
I mean, if a lot of times they'll hear affiliate and they'll be like, no, I mean, where am I gonna? Is this something that's gonna be detrimental for my business? But really, it helps to drive business to the brand, really.
It
You know, and if they've
does,
got it in
and
their store,
I can kind of touch that we price our product higher on the website. So even with their discounts, they're reaching our store maps, right? Touch on that a little more.
Yeah, that's a good question, Graham. I think historically, and I've been in the business a long time, like you guys. Affiliate ambassador usually freaks out some retailers, right? And they think it's taken from their pockets or their consumers at the end of the day. I'd say within the past probably 5 years, we've seen an emergence of a lot of online or direct to consumer savvy brands be very successful. Where I think the initial reaction from brick and mortar retail was, hey, that's not a brand I want to support because I'm kind of directly competing with that brand. Some of those brands, I think, for whatever reason, just kind of fell by the wayside a little bit. And some of those brands have grown really well,
Yeah.
where they've created so much demand, where it's forced the local consumers in those communities to go to their brick and mortar stores to find these products. And I think we can all look at certain aspects of our life on how we shop. And not just supplements, could be groceries, clothing, fashion, shoes, whatever. I'm sure a lot of us buy a lot of stuff online. There's a lot of things that we buy probably every 30 to 60 days, with the bulk of that being online. But you probably still buy that stuff at the store as well, right? So it doesn't, just because you buy it online doesn't mean you're going to buy it online forever. What Nick's done a great job with our affiliates, you just got to think of them as mini marketing reps. They're out there posting the brand. They believe in the brand. And I think, today's generation, inspiration is the key word. Everybody wants to be inspired by something. Everyone wants to be a part of something. Like you said, Graham, at the end of the day, we're all selling pretty much the same type of supplements. I mean, some taste better than others. Some might have a little bit more or less than that. But at the end of the day, it's the brand. And it's why people buy Nike, Adidas, Reebok, Harley Davidson. There's a lot of big brands. Apple. I mean, Apple to me is the brand of all brands. They've created the best following you could create in a brand where you could sell, 5 different things for the same thing, and incrementally grow your business, right? Or give them a new iPhone every 6 months and they still buy it. They've created that. There's a following there. Apple people are Apple loyal to death, right? I mean, they're hardcore. So I think that's a big part of it. So when you hear ambassadors, affiliates, these are people that are brand. People in the community should want that because it's getting more eyeballs on the brand. The last thing you want to do as a retailer when you've got all these people posting a brand is not have that product on your shelf because you're indirectly or directly forcing the consumer to go buy online. Because if it's not available, if they saw and they come in and you don't have it, or you try to sell them something that they're not looking for, you could lose a customer for life. And I think right now the toughest thing for brick and mortar retailers is what? Getting people in the door. So last thing you want to do is get someone in the door and lose them because maybe you're not selling something that they might be looking for. So, there's a lot of different levels here, but what we've been able to do is create an awareness around the brand. Also, from a budget perspective, it doesn't cost us a ton of money when we have programs like that. So it's a way for us to market the brand. But these people buy our products. They live the life. Like Nick said, they believe in his vision, right?
Yeah.
They're family people, husbands, wives. They've got kids. Firemen, police people. They work hard to grow, and they see Nick what he does, and how he's able to do that. They want to be a part of that. Of course, they still want great tasting supplements. But these people should be looked at as assets in the community. Call it a link in the chain that kind of bolts on to grow the brand, and that's what these people are.
Shoot, I can't tell you how many times I've had gym owners or the people that I'm talking to on the phone saying, do you guys have such and such a brand? Because, people are walking in their doors to work out and they've got branded t-shirts on. Yeah. They're drinking a drink. They're drinking their pre-workout out of a shaker cup. And if you've got people coming into your gym that are of that, you might want to carry that product because they're going to be the people that a lot of people are seeing, talking to, and
well, then they refer it when they're in there. Yeah, it's like someone sees a shirt, they're like, "Oh, I saw that up front," and then they're like, "Yeah, I take it. I'm an affiliate. I'm a part of the company. I'm part of the team," and that helps sell it too.
Yeah, and I think the evolution of this industry, like I said before, I've been doing it for a while. I remember there was a time and place when, even me, you buy your supplements at the mom and pop supplement. They have the best stuff, right? You still had the GNCs back in the day, but you knew if you wanted the good stuff, you go to the mom and pop local brick and mortar retailer, right? And then I remember there was a point in time where gyms started to sell some supplements, but they were doing some more like MLM or not the name brand supplements that people wanted, right? So the stores used to compete directly with the gyms, but the stores had the buying volume. They got the better pricing. You guys probably relate back in the day, right? So it was tough for the gyms to compete. Fast forward now, and this is probably within the past 5 years, you're seeing the gyms now starting to sell way more supplements than the retail stores. And again, it boils down to, what does the gym have that the retail wants?
Traffic.
The gym has always had the consumers. The problem is the products that the gym was retailing or offered before, if they offered, because a lot of them wouldn't want to touch it, right? They want to deal with shrinkage or hire an employee to manage it, is they offer the wrong products. So those people in the gym were still buying supplements. They were just buying it somewhere else. So they start putting in the supplements that these people are buying. Next thing you know, gyms are selling $2-3 grand a day in supplements. It's one less stop the consumer has to make. The same can be said about, and I'll say the 3-letter acronym FDM business, right? Food, drug, mass. We've all shopped at a grocery store. We've all shopped at a Walmart before. We've probably looked at the brands that used to be in there. Your more educated people would never touch those brands, right? But now you're seeing a shift of your more legacy brands move into these FDM environments. And you're starting to see the sales actually do really well. Well, they've always had the consumers. It's just the product offerings they had weren't there. It's the same like the grocery store. Well, I think a grocery store can sell supplements. Do people work out and not buy chicken breast or broccoli? I mean, are they not buying their groceries necessarily at the store? The problem is the supplementation that was offered there wasn't what these people were buying. You start offering the brands that they do buy, hey, it's one less stop you got to make in your day. So, it's crazy how everything kind of shifts and changes throughout time. But the gym's always had the traffic, and that's why you see in gym business, I mean, you guys probably know the numbers a little better than I do, but it's got to be up 40-50% probably, overall. And you're seeing a lot of gyms pop up. You're seeing more gyms open. You're seeing more gym chains add clubs, and it's a revenue stream for the gyms as well.
No, that's all really good information, Ike. I'm glad you kind of brought up the fact of, back in the day, the stores would get more margin than the gyms, and you would have different types of plus ones, and a lot of that whole market got real muddy with so much free product, and nobody really knew what their land cost was, and it just got very, very difficult over the years. Run us kind of, through how your pricing model is going to go. Help our retailers understand there's really two numbers. It's what you buy it for, what you sell it for. It just makes it much cleaner. I really like the EDLP model because it really kind of puts the focus back on what's inside the bottle versus just what you can get it for. Right. So when we have those conversations about, let me tell you about this product, then that's the conversation our retailers are a part of. So when they have a end customer come in, that conversation about what this product is, why it tastes different, or what makes it taste good, what makes it feel a little bit better, they're already engaged and they've had that conversation before. What we've found is that over the past few years, when all we're doing is having pricing conversations, right, and then the end consumer comes in and asks a retailer about the flavor or why is this different than this, because they're acting on the fly, versus having those conversations where, you guys coach us, we coach our customers, and then, now we're all pitching the same idea. Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So kind of dive us into, the model you guys have decided to move forward with, how that model is going to benefit our stores, and then also, Nick, you've already kind of talked about where the website sells at, so our stores feel comfortable with that. Like you said, 45, 50% margins. Right. I mean, that's what our stores really want right now, is just the protection from the big gorilla on Amazon, the big gorilla on other .coms. It's these guys that are buying 6s and 12s can't buy like the guy that's doing 600 and 1200. Right. So our stores right now are in that mode of, how do I get protection? So kind of dive us into more of that EDLP model, and kind of. Before
we get into that, it was great. EDLP is everyday low price. So just in case anybody didn't know what we're talking about, throwing all these acronyms around, EDLP is everyday low price. So think of like, I say Walmart, but everyday low price. There's no promos.
Right. Going to age myself here, in this industry.
Surprising you still have hair, man.
Yeah, it's starting to go in the back. That's why we're facing the
every
cameras
time.
this way.
Higher and higher
It
and
just
higher.
keep go up. Just keep going up.
Every time.
So-
I've been seeing this guy for
One day I bet I'll
10
fill an
years.
application 6'6", it's 8 foot of hair. But no, it's interesting. When I first got in this industry, there was no such thing as a plus one. It didn't exist. You actually, as a retailer or a gym owner, you would get a discount off of wholesale. That was it. And to be honest, before that time, you actually paid wholesale. Wholesale. You look at a catalog, wholesale's $29.99. That's what you paid as a retailer.
That's before my days.
So,
Buddy,
that's
I
going
days.
back.
Buddy, I remember, I want to say it was probably about 13, 14 years ago, one of the Arnold specials, I'm not going to mention the brand.
I know
one of
exactly the one you're talking
one
about.
of the
It's a
Arnold
three-tier.
Yep, it was a
Three-tier.
three-tier. You had to buy.
Spend $250,000.
It was
You
even-
get 10% extra.
To even sniff 3%, it was 50 grand.
Yeah.
It was like 50 grand, 75 grand, or
So
whatever.
we're aging ourselves here,
Ridiculous,
but that's how it
ridiculous.
used to be. And then I would say probably 10 to 12 years ago, I actually know the individual. I won't name him in this video, but decided to do a +1 deal. And I remember the exact +1 deal. It was buy 18 units, get 1 unit free. And this was mind-boggling to the industry. Like, this was like Apple iPhone technology invented. Like, people went crazy. I literally had people that buy 1,800 units to get 100. Like, it was like people went crazy over this. And then, our competitor company said, well, if they're going to do an 18-in-1, how about a 15-in-1? And then the next company went to a 12-in-1. Well, within 6 months, everything was 3-in-1.
There was actually at one point a buy one, get 2 free. Not going to mention the brand names.
So,
Yeah.
Buy one, get 2 free. And
Yeah,
I
gotta
knew
move it.
at that
Gotta
point we
move
were
it.
like,
It was-
oh, so this is kind of what the bottom looks
yeah,
like.
so as an industry, we all participated in that and just went straight to the bottom, man. It's now become where retailers, it's all about the plus. Like there's new retailers that get in this game, open a retail store. They don't really know what a +1 is, but the first thing they ask you when they ask about a brand is, "What's my +1?" Like, you know what I mean? So it's crazy. So in the years, I think too, who hates buying a car sometimes? You go buy a car, you got to haggle for 6 hours, right? It's, wouldn't it be easy just to go buy a car and say, here's what I'm paying, or just keep it simple. So, I've worked with a lot of different pricing models and this and that. And, as a retailer, you've got a lot of other stuff to do. You might have a family, you might have, there's so much other stuff to do. It's tough to build a business, which is, your margins are pretty thin at the end of the day, but it's tough to build a business when you don't know what your everyday cost is, right? It's tough. And you got thousands of brands out there, all different pricing formats and this and that. You have fixed costs. Your rent doesn't change every month, for the most part, right? There's fixed costs in your business. So in order to, what you need to sell at what margin to cover your fixed costs, you need to know what you're paying for stuff. It's tough to know that when every month the products that you're supporting is on a different deal, or you don't know if there's going to be an Arnold special, or hey, is this brand going to do a Fat Friday? It's tough to run a business on that, right? You almost have to run a business based off of your discount, and then any +1s are kind of just icing on top, right? If you really, because you can't blend the +1. So it's always confusing. Some people get it, some don't. So I decided with this brand to make it really simple. Everybody's got a lot of stuff to do. Everybody's busy. EDLP, everyday low price. It's simple when you, as a retailer, you pay X for a product. If you sell it for Y, you make Z. It's pretty simple. Y can be interchangeable. You can kind of play around with what you want to sell it for, but this is your price at the end of the day. You don't have to haggle. You don't need to call you guys and say, hey, call the vendor, see if he can do a +1. You can make 5 phone calls, 5 hours go by. You don't need approval from a brand to do the deal. It's set in there. And I also believe this too. You also know what everybody else is paying. Some people might not like that. But you know what? At least I know if there's people selling a brand online that they're getting the same price as me.
So tell us a little bit about, EDLP in regard to your online sales, which were a big part of your business starting off, and obviously a lot of conversations that we've had, that Pete and I have had over the last couple of years, is you got some kid standing in front of you with his phone with the Amazon app open, and they're saying, "Yeah, I can get that for like $10 less."
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Target with the price map or
Right.
price match. Well, yeah, we don't. We have. So actually, stores can sell cheaper than us, correct? What did you say?
What did you say?
What did you do?
So it is below.
the way our maps are basically kind of figured is what we sell on our website with about a 10 to 15% spread. And that's based off of a discount code that an affiliate can give. So obviously, if they're getting a code from an affiliate, which is 10 to 15% off the website, that's truly what MAP is, right? Mm-hmm. So, not cutting that out, knowing that affiliates are posting, right? And you got to keep that in mind, right? So we're not trying to hide anything from anybody. We kind of lower that out, and that becomes basically what the MAP is.
Some of the products are cheaper than I'll ever sell it for.
Mm-hmm.
So some of these stores can win on us. Well, we'll be winning on us.
Right.
So.
And that's big. Obviously I've worked and owned another brand before, and I've had to kind of navigate the waters of some of that stuff. But margin's important for a retailer. I get it. I get it. If I own my own business, margin's important. There's a lot of brands to choose from. You talk about protection. That's something I've always personally valued. I've always taken that very serious. You guys know my past. Mm-hmm. When it comes to policing MAP and doing those things, maybe I'm a little bit overly ambitious with it. It is exhausting, but it's important to me. It's important to me because when I sit in front of people and tell people we truly protect it and it means something, I want people to know that it does. So we do take that stuff very serious. Knowing all brands have the ability to enforce and police MAP. If they say they don't, I'm sorry, it's a lie. Mm-hmm. They do. You know what I mean? But it's important for us. So being a brand where we're today, where we're not fully saturated everywhere, it's going to be a little easier to roll out EDLP and MAPs and get everybody online with the brand versus going the other way. Mm-hmm. There was a point in time in my other brand where we didn't even regulate Amazon. Like we allowed you guys remember the heyday? Oh, yeah. Everybody was selling on Amazon as a third party. Yeah. Everybody was fighting everybody. There was no such thing as MAP. Which, hey, there was a lot of business done in those days. A lot of business done in those days, right? But it took me a year just to clean the platform up. Mm-hmm. Just to get people off, get inventory done, to reset the platform, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have to do that here because we're not set up that way. So it's a little bit easier for us to instill that. But no, we do take MAP serious. We want people to enforce it, but also want them to make margin. We want to keep brand integrity, leave enough margin for everybody to make. And for us as business owners in Ryse, our online business is very important to our brand. It's important to us paying our bills and feeding our families. So, Nic's done an incredible job with that community and that network. It's the bulk of our business currently. So we still obviously need to make sure it continues that way.
Okay. No, well, that's awesome. I really do want to touch on the brand just a little bit. We've given our consumers, pretty much more of the nuts and bolts about who you guys are, the protection you're offering, how you guys are setting them up to win. Let's just touch on more categories, okay? Looks like we have protein. We have two different pre-workouts, a black series and a standard series, if you will. We have your commodities. Is that right? Mm-hmm. We have a BCA over there as well. And tell me about some new things you guys have been working on as well.
Or even, to go along with that, what should a retailer start with?
Right.
What's
if they're not
hottest movers?
Carry the whole brand, which it's hard to expect anybody to carry the full brand right away. But obviously the brand looks great, but what are the standouts, and kind of touch on the products a little bit?
So to start with the standouts in the current landscape of the brand, obviously a lot of the data we get is based on what Nic's been able to do online, right? That's what we have. That doesn't always translate directly to retail at the end of the day. But right now our best-selling product is our protein. Our proteins are phenomenal from a taste perspective. It's a WPI, WPC with some MCT and prebiotic fibers in there. Very clean, easy on the stomach, but just taste is where we focus. And that's where we think we win on protein. It's available currently in a 2-pound. There will be a 4-pound offering coming soon as well. We currently got 3 flavors, but we intend to have probably 6 flavors by the end of the year in the proteins. Obviously, protein, It's not your highest margin item at the end of the day. It's a staple. Everybody takes a protein. Super competitive, obviously. But from our current business model, it's probably 50% of our sales currently right now is on our protein.
Wow.
As we talk categories, pre-workout typically is number one, number two. We've got 2 pre-workouts. You've got our white, which is considered our core series. And then we've got our Project Blackout, which is a little bit more premium, a little bit more efficacious dose ingredients, a little bit more hardcore as well, right? We do have a third pre-workout that we're working on as well. Our current white pre-workout is 20 serves. Our current blackout pre-workout is 25 serves. We are working on a ultra stim pre-workout that'll be a 30 serve.
Okay.
Kind of more of that $1 per serve retail price point type of product. High stim
guys.
for the crazy guys out there, like Pete used to be when he first
Long
started
time ago.
at
Pre-kids.
Europa, before the kids. But yeah, that way I always use this analogy. When you go to buy a car, if you only could buy a black car, what fun is that? Right? We have different products that cater to different people, what they're looking for. If you have somebody that doesn't want such high stim, wants a good dose of 6 grams of citrulline, 275 milligrams of caffeine with some pump ingredients, we got the white product for you. If you're somebody that is looking for that 400 caffeine, some nitrates for some serious pumps, some focus ingredients, we've got the blackout. If you're somebody that's a little bit more price conscious, maybe like only so much money to spend, or maybe you want a pre-workout and a BCAA, that's kind of where our ultra stim will sit, right? So you've got different variables for the consumer there. Our BCA also with EAAs in that product, so you got your essential amino acids and your branched chain amino acids. We are looking to bring some additional flavors out in that here soon. There's probably about 4 more flavors coming out in that very quickly. Our current capsule line, you've got an efficacious dosed test booster, natural test booster. You've got a fat burner, uses a combination of 2 different caffeines. Got some grains of paradise, teacrine in there. It is a little bit on the stronger end from a stimulant perspective. We've got kind of a cool little multivitamin product that's got some nootropic elements as well with cognizant from a focus perspective. We do have a new series that we just created called the Elements series. So that's going to be kind of our commoditized line as well. You don't see it here yet just because literally the L-carnitine was made today. So it'll be coming soon. But we'll have an L-carnitine 1500, an L-carnitine 3000. We'll be doing a creatine, a glutamine, ZMA, CLA, some things like that. Our Element series, just think of that as your staple, at the end of the day. One thing Nic's always done and we're going to continue to do is focus on novel flavors. Really different type of flavors. We've got a really cool flavor in our carnitine called zebra fruit. Don't know if anybody ever remembers Fruit Strike gums. Tastes just like it.
Hopefully the flavor lasts.
It didn't.
Well,
right?
after
The gum looks cool though when you look at it, but then it's gone. Yeah.
Chew it and it's a brick.
But that's something we want to do is have really cool, unique flavors. We've already done that in the proteins with our Cinnamon Toast Crunch and our Fruity Cereal, aka Fruity Pebbles. So kind of cereal themed flavors there. Fruity Crunch. Some other stuff we'll be looking to do too is we are working on a full 100% whole food bar. Oh, wow. So nothing with any preservatives, anything in there.
Do you have any flavor options or anything like that just set, or is it still
we've actually messed with a ton of flavors. We are looking for some peanut butter based themes right now that we've got coming. You can see that out probably in the next 60 days.
Cheeseburger jalapeno, maybe?
That didn't make the cut. That was really big in Texas.
Red beans and
rice.
Red beans and rice. Okay, all right. Maybe some vinegar barbecue.
Yeah, could do that. Also, we're looking to do a fully loaded, this will actually be the first of its kind, but a 14 active ingredient, fully dosed pre-workout RTD.
Wow.
And I'm, really just loaded with ingredients.
What's that coming? A big gulp?
Yeah, it's going to be the big monster. See you later. And you must drink that 20 minutes before you work out.
All right.
So, good diuretic effect as well. But no, looking on something that we've actually been beta testing that for about 2 months right now. So just trying to get that formula right. We all know taste is most important. So getting that thing to taste perfect is what we've been focusing on. So we've had a lot of that stuff behind the scenes we've been working on. Obviously a big category. We want to play a lot in the gym business. We know it's a big part of Europa's business. So we think our intro to a lot of customers is going to be with our grab-and-go items, which could lead to some of our other products down the road. We are working on a cool muscle builder product with creatine, an ingredient, one of my favorite ingredients right now called Peak ATP. So kind of doing some stuff there. No caffeine in it, but just a pure muscle builder. We've got some other bells and whistles, some other protein options we might look at down the future. The good news is we're very nimble. We can move very quickly. I've got a lot of relationships with a lot of these top ingredient guys. So a lot of them flip me some new stuff that's kind of up and coming very quickly that we can stay ahead of trends and things of that nature. But one
You're
thing,
gonna keep us updated on all that.
only on the non-secret stuff,
All right.
because I know you guys like to leak
We
stuff to all the other
want the
brands. You know what I mean? So,
Hey.
but one thing I can tell you: consistency, taste with anything we do. There's a level of what we have to do from this brand, and we want to make sure to hit that out of the park every time.
Well, Nick's a wrestler. I mean, of course he's. You
Try.
can't eat much, so you gotta
Try.
You got what
Pack the
you
nutrients,
have.
that's right.
It's got to taste good.
Did you touch on the pump?
I didn't touch on the pump. See, I've already forgot about a product. So we also have we've got a stimulant-free nitric oxide, aka pump powder, that comes in our Project Blackout line. We're big believers in a lot of the nitrates out there. Anybody if it's a nitrate fan out there, I personally think nitrates are the best when it comes to pump. There's a certain ratio that you need to hit to get the right amount in there. But we use that in our Project Blackout pre-workout, also in our Project Blackout pump product. So obviously stacking the two together gives you some really, really intense and sick pumps. So yes, I did forget about that one. Always just too many
You
products.
get him
I
going.
remind you.
Too many
And
products.
It's like you got to just steer him in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Well, they asked what's good products. We sell, actually, retail does really well with the VitaFocus.
Okay.
Believe it or
Vita
not,
Focus.
we go through cases a week with that.
Wow.
So what would you say if somebody's got three products that they're
products.
looking at?
One of the pre-workouts, VitaFocus, protein.
Okay.
And
Great little
every
stack.
every store is reordered the protein.
Okay. Sweet. Any particular flavor that's performing better than others?
No, across the board.
Okay.
My favorite cinnamon toast. I think Ike's too.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I'd probably say the cinnamon toast and the chocolate peanut butter seem to be there, but fruity cereal, fruity crunch just came
new.
out December.
December. So
December. So we don't have 12 months of history there. But I'm not a Fruity Pebbles fan. But if you love Fruity Pebbles cereal,
Tastes
tastes
just like
identical.
that.
Like
Wow.
it's on the money. So
And your peanut butter, you guys teamed up with PB2 for that, right?
Yep,
Right.
we did on that.
Nice.
We've got some other big name cookie companies
Nice.
that we're working on some flavors with in the future, hopefully, that we can bring out. Something that's chocolate with some white cream in the middle.
Nice.
Hoping.
Well, hey, listen.
You know what I mean?
Hey.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Yeah. Don't.
As far as the black line, we have one flavor now, but we have two coming out April 10th.
Yep. That's a good point. Yeah, so we currently have tiger's blood. If you don't know what that is, just go find a tiger and cut them open.
I don't know anybody that hasn't had tiger blood.
But we do
In
have
their
two
life.
other
One
flavor
drink about a
extensions
gallon,
come in
too.
that are unique in that to round out the three flavors as well.
And then in the white line, the electrical lemonade's our top seller.
Okay. Cool. Great info.
Nice. Wow.
So, well, we said it all. You guys have said it all.
Done it all.
Appreciate the opportunity.
We've gone through a lot here, so we'll get this thing wrapped up. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate Ryse Supplements for being here, and look for those guys. What's the Instagram?
Ryse_subs.
Simple as that. Obviously, we will have this on our YouTube page shortly, and we will have some teasers on the Instagram. So anything that you guys need to know.
Midwest. Europa Midwest, not Team Midwest. Europa
You
Midwest.
got it right the third time.
Yeah.
The third time.
So
I've only created the thing.
We appreciate
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
Thank you
thank you.
guys. We look forward to, there's a bunch of other stuff, swag, a lot of custom stuff that we want to do for those retailers who do support the Ryse brand as we grow. And, thank you for the opportunity.
When will this be in stock?
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Get your orders
Next
in.
week.
So just about the time that this will be airing, you'll be able to call your Europa sales rep and get the whole line. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.